My name is Kyle. Sitting in, well, I guess I'm not sitting in for Doobie. Doobie's not here, so it's actually you're sitting in for Doobie. Welcome to the LP Morning Edition. I'm Kyle, as I said. Over there is Jeremiah Good, our VP of East Coast Theme Parks. How you doing, Jerem?
Doing well. It seems like it's been, about 10 hours since we talked last. So
Yeah. I was trying to see, they had the headline things on here where you could put like your title, and I was gonna have mine say editor and yours say bullfrog. But that joke is now ruined because I don't know where it is.
yeah, for some reason it wasn't popping up on this link. On some of the other links, it seems to be automatic. So I was looking for that also to put in some snarky comment because I like doing that.
Well, there you go. So we're going to hit all our normal things today. We've got, you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. Not the most amount of news today. So we're going to have some fun and go over some things. We have some really good This Day in Disney history. So make sure you stick around for that. And then who knows, maybe some stuff will break while we're on the air here. But we're going to start off this show like we do every show, and that's with the stocks. All right, Jeremiah, I get to test your prognostication. Yesterday, Disney stock was somewhere in the $97 range. Do you think it is higher, lower, or flat today?
Let's see. Nothing happened overnight. Actually, Haunted Mansion came out.
See, it's fun that you're trying to put logic into this because there's rarely logic.
I will go with lower.
Lower. Okay. It's a safe bet these days. But let's see how we're doing. Oh, it is up. We have crossed back above the Disney 100 line. So, yeah, let's check the S&P 500 out of curiosity. Jeremiah, do you know what the S&P 500 is?
No.
Okay. It is a collection of 500 of the largest market cap stocks that kind of gives you an idea of how the overall market is doing. It is up 1.06% today, and Disney is up 1.15. So for a change, Disney is pretty much in line with the S&P 500. So there you go. That's why it's up. But next, do you know what we do next, Jeremiah?
Is it the weather?
So looking at the country over here, another messy day. Lots of snow up in this area, but the focus here is on this part. Yesterday we had a bunch of severe weather down in the south here. Today it's moved up to I guess this would be the Midwest or part of the Midwest. We just have regular rain where I am, but over in this area, Kentucky, all the way down to Mississippi and Tennessee, they have some chance of severe weather, so make sure you remain weather aware. Tornadoes, large hail, and severe wind are all possible today. But heading into the world of Disney, Anaheim is looking like SoCal again. It's sunny with highs in the low 60s and a clear night in the 50s. That's good news for Mike Celestino, who will be at the opening of the DCA Food and Wine Festival later today and walking and talking with us, don't you know? In Orlando, where Jeremiah is, you have a windy day in Central Florida.
Yeah.
Winds out of the southwest at 24 miles per hour. Temperatures will near 90, but will likely stay just shy of that. And the wind should calm a bit this evening. At Castaway Cay, they are just over 80 degrees now, and it's a little windy there as well, but the humidity brings the real feel up to 86 degrees. In Mont-la-Vallée, Paris, they are a bit breezy as they fall from 45 to around 35 in the next few hours as they end their night there. Tokyo tomorrow will be partly cloudy, and they'll stop just short of the 60s. Shanghai, sunny day tomorrow, but they'll start in the 40s, make it up to the low 60s before retreating after dark. And finally, Hong Kong tomorrow, partly cloudy to start, but clearing for a high of 70 during the day.
Yeah, I know here for the past couple of days, I've had a warning on my phone that I'd never seen before, and it's fire warning, fire weather warning.
Yes.
It's like, I'm used to that in California, but Florida, that's not a normal thing.
Yeah, because your humidity is only about 30%, so definitely low by Floridian standards. I did want to share, yesterday we talked about Mike Celestino experiencing what we're definitively calling snow at Disneyland. But his video did make it a bit further, took on, dare I say, the real media. So I wanted to share this clip that I found because I Googled like Laughing Place Snow to see if anyone picked it up since we got requests to use the footage. And I found this from KCAL, and also you can find this on CBS.com. Let's go ahead and watch this. Hopefully the sound comes through.
Use the hashtag KCAL News and comment on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We might even read your comment live on the air. And we are kicking things off with this incredible video from the happiest place on earth. You can see it behind me. We're going to pull it up for you. Twitter user Laughing Plays shared videos walking into Disneyland when this mix of snow and hail just started coming down out of nowhere. Well, we knew it was going to come down because
you
Paul
can
was
hear
telling us
Mike in
about
the
it.
background.
But look at that there. It's beautiful. When they were walking through downtown Disney and then made it into the park just before it started to rain, this is what happened. They said this is the first time they've spotted something close to real snow in the park. It just looks incredible. A lot of people probably surprised, not thinking they were going to get the snowfall there, but it is absolutely magical. And it's the happiest place on earth.
So there you go.
I'm a little sad they didn't use Mike's video just because that alone.
Oh, the video of him. Yeah, he had two videos. So this is one of his videos. But yeah, he had one that he tweeted that was like his reaction. You do hear him a little bit there in the
panting.
When they pulled the video full screen, you can hear his background a little bit. But yeah, I thought that was so cool. Not just that they showed his video, but that they said Laughing Place and all of that. So that was a nice surprise to come across. I did also see that they embedded his video in a USA Today article. So we've gone nationwide. Wow. We're gonna need a Xenon banner at the bottom of our.
I know we definitely do, and you know, I'm guessing Mac is referring to the Her Story history signs. I don't know if that is, but we do have those.
I think he's talking about the M. Night Shyamalan movie from like 2002.
Here needs some water.
So anyway, that was fun. So be sure to go check that out on CBS News and let us know if your local station happens to use any of our stuff, because it's possible. We approved it. Now we're going to move on to an interesting. I'm going to say it's a story. Let's hope it's a story. Luke picked up on this yesterday that the Disney Plus Twitter account tweeted, "I can buy myself flowers," which to most people, like the way you're looking at me, it means absolutely nothing. But that is a lyric from Miley Cyrus's new song, or newish song. It's a huge hit. Amazingly, like I just hear people talking about this incessantly. So this had him thinking that maybe they are teasing sort of things. Obviously, they've done past concert specials. Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, Elton John, yeah. So yeah, maybe there'll be something, a reunion of sorts between Disney and Miley Cyrus. Obviously, we have no idea, but it does seem weird that they would just randomly share a lyric like this. Disney Plus is not the account to do this.
That is very like cryptic. They're almost. I feel like the Disney accounts, somebody left Universal social media and jumped onto Disney with this, and the Disneyland, is that real or fake snow on the Matterhorn? I was like, those aren't normal Disney tweets. Those are fun.
Well, you know what? As I brought this up, guess what, Jeremiah? We have breaking news. To do, and then I will bring it up here. I had to find my tab again. I'm sorry. This is hard sometimes. Here we go. Miley Cyrus, Endless Summer Vacation, an original special streaming at March 10th. So only.
We may not want to play this music.
It's broken up. It's not. Including the global sensation Flowers. I told you it was a big hit.
I really need to listen to Flowers, apparently. Also, Luke.
It's pretty good.
Luke should get a vacation to Disneyland for catching that.
Yeah. Maybe she'll appear. Remember, she had her 16th birthday party at Disneyland. They had it was like a hard ticket event.
Yeah.
So yeah, Luke was 100% right, and it came true just in time. I'm glad I made it my first story. How convenient!
Yeah, that was very well timed.
Yeah, go me. So yeah, we will have that up on the site shortly, and then yeah, you can watch that starting at it's interesting. So is this actually live then, or they're playing it live because it has a specific time on it? Streaming at 1 p.m. Eastern on March 10th. So I assume it'll be available for replay after that. But
what is the backyard sessions?
Looks like it's the name of the session. It looks like she's going to be playing in her backyard.
Okay. Is the dad going to come out and?
I don't know. Interestingly, so this has kind of become a saga. Last week, we saw that Wondrous Journey, the It's Wondrous theme, was listed on like a Disney site, and then it was available on like YouTube Music. But then that got pulled later in the week, and then we got official word that it was coming to streaming services today at midnight Eastern. And that's partially true. You can see it on Apple Music, but it was supposed to be on all of these other ones. And last I checked, so let me check now, still not quite on all of them. It's on Apple Music, and you can download it on the iTunes Store. So I don't know what's going on with Spotify and the rest, including the YouTube Music one, which is where it was originally last week. Don't know what's going on there, but there are, if you go to Apple Music, you can listen to it. There's the regular version, and then there's the Exit Music version. So 2 tracks on this EP.
It's very interesting. This started, I want to say this started with Rivers of Light was the first time that the music popped up on streaming service almost at the same time. And I talked to a few people behind the scenes, and my main question was this to make sure that the copyright and all the videos either get taken down or blocked? And they're like, no, it just worked out that way. And it's like,
thanks.
Right. It is interesting that they're putting these up on the streaming services. I'm a diehard Disney music fan. Like, if you put out a new CD, I own the Harmonious CD, although I've never opened it, and I don't believe I have anything that can play CDs anymore. But the fact that they're putting these on the streaming services pretty close to the launch of them is a good sign for the future of the Disney music. Hopefully we're more like Tokyo, where everything starts to appear at some point.
So yeah, and on that note, I was surprised that they didn't release this at the same time as Start a Wave, because those shows debuted at the same time, and that's the one that I'm honestly more looking forward to.
I'm still holding off on both World of Color 1 and Wondrous Journey videos. Thankfully, the parade I'm still pretty good on. Please don't play it, Kyle.
I won't. I don't want to get demonetized again.
But, I'm heading out to Disneyland in a few weeks, so I get to experience all these things, including one that has been started over 3 years ago. Like 3 years ago this week, isn't it? Like, is that a day in history there?
Might be. Sorry, I'm looking over. We got more about this Miley Cyrus thing. It doesn't mention whether or not it's live, but yeah, it does have that time. And then there will be Flowers, 7 additional tracks from her album, which is called Endless Summer Vacation. So the Backyard Sessions is kind of like I think the Taylor one was like whatever her album was called, and then something Sessions. But 7 additional tracks, and one of them, Rufus Wainwright is going to perform with her. So that's pretty cool. Are you familiar with Rufus?
The name sounds familiar.
Well, his dad is Loudon Wainwright III. Don't you know? Oh. That's the second time I've said, don't you know, on the show.
I know. It's like, where are we moving up to Wisconsin right now?
Yes, we are. In honor of Alex still being on vacation, I have to take his place and just insert that upper Midwest action into the show. So moving on, because we've gone way off the rails already. Can you believe it?
Wait, are we talking about Runaway Railway then?
For what? Off the rails? Yes.
Yes.
Nothing can stop us now, Jeremiah. Let's move to the fact that Marvel, I think we already knew that they were doing a Planet of the Apes comic series. Now we found out that this is actually going to be part of a 20th Century Studios imprint that they're starting. So it'll still be a Marvel comic, obviously, but you see the 20th Century branding up there and everything. That's kind of cool.
It's very interesting they're doing this. This is something DC and Marvel did. Well, DC definitely did more in the 90s with starting different imprints under the same umbrella, and later in life that came back to bite them. This one, since Disney owns it all, it's pretty easy. But the Planet of the Apes, starting it is interesting because there's been an Aliens comic out for, I know it's under a year, but it's been out for a while, and they've done the other ones. And then you run into the whole, wait, where does Star Wars fall? Star Wars is its own imprint, but
yeah,
I just want the 20th century opening to Star Wars to be restored back on those.
that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, you mean like the fanfare on the films themselves? Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people do. I think that the Lucasfilm one is okay, but yeah, obviously that Fox one's so good.
Yeah, and off the rails again. I'm looking forward to the Planet of the Apes comics. I've heard that it is the sequels to the most recent Planet of the Apes, the good ones, not the Marky Mark and the Monkey Bunch version.
Or the originals.
You damn dirty apes.
Can't say that on here, Jeremiah. Comic adaptation of Ad Astra coming soon. I hope that there's actually a comic adaptation of Mac's review of Ad Astra coming soon, because that sounds way more entertaining. That's one of my favorites he's ever written. So if you haven't read that, go ahead and do yourself a favor and search our site for Ad Astra.
Let's go look for that.
Hey, Caleb, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon from the morning show. That's time zones. Oh no, we have a special guest in the comments. Hi guys.
What's up, Doobie?
Yeah, I was gonna come. That is Doobie. He must be getting off the ship, and he's fighting off his depression by talking to us. I knew Jeremiah will be wearing his Roosevelt shirt, so I went ahead and wore one of mine as well. This is one of the Borland Flex. So I look like Chucky, and you look like Woody. Yeah. So we're both dolls, but in very different arenas. We did not plan that, by the way.
Much like our CEO and
they planned that, though.
Yeah.
Moving on. We don't usually talk a ton of merch, but like I said, not a huge amount of news. I thought these looked adorable. Obviously, this is not a set. This is just the same doll dressed in different ways. But there's going to be an Edna Mode new emo coming out. And the first thing I said to Becca is that if we're getting one, we're also going to buy a different costume that has a cape so that we can just make our new emo very angry. And I'm sure other people will want to do the same. This is coming out on the 6th. So I guess that would be what, Monday?
Yeah. The new emos, sadly, not sadly, they kind of have gone the way of the dodo. They still put some out. It's just not, I don't think it ever took off like they expected it to in Japan and the foreign parks, the photos.
They don't learn their lesson, because this is however many times they've tried to bring stuff over, the Tsum Tsums, the Duffy, and they do okay, at least for a little bit. And I think, Duffy is actually kind of having a resurgence now as people look at what happens over there. But yeah, you're right. I don't know if this was supposed to be a huge thing, but they do keep bringing out new ones.
Yeah, and this one, Edna, it's just so random. I mean, even the ones that they're putting out are random.
No, it is random, but I think in a way, I kind of appreciate how much thought they put into it, because they're we have this doll that the entire point is to dress it up in all sorts of different costumes. Oh, we have a fashion designer character. Maybe we should make that a new emo. So I think that part of it's kind of brilliant. And Doobie is sitting at the airport for the next 6 hours waiting for his flight. The post-cruise depression is real. Well, Doobie, I hope you stick around for This Day in Disney History. You might have already seen it because I didn't think you'd be watching, so I shared it in random. But we have a good one today that ends beautifully. I did want to revisit something we talked about yesterday real quick, mostly because I didn't know what else to make the thumbnail, so I had to make it this. Yesterday we watched the new teaser trailer. I'll put it on the background here on mute so we don't get dinged. Yesterday you were not hot on this trailer. I was wondering if you had a chance to watch it again, if you had any other thoughts about it.
I went back and watched it. I'm a little confused.
Fair enough.
The opening, them right there looks much like they've been in this house for decades, is the way I feel. I don't know what the story is, but I almost feel like Rosario and the kid, which I discovered it is the kid that triggers me to not like this. And it's just, I think it's a layover of kids in Haunted Mansion movies that bring it down. The tributes or the nods to the attraction are really good. I love the portrait in the background and how well that works. I'm still not sold on it. It was just the teaser, so hopefully when we get the full trailer at some point, it will be, I don't want to say better, but it'll sell me a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like you said, this is kind of the first look. It's kind of surprising it took us this long. It was supposed to be out in a couple of weeks, and then it got pushed to August, and now it got moved back up to July. So we'll see. We'll see more of it in the coming weeks there. I thought that I took off.
That we don't have Comic-Con before it. We don't have, well, I don't think Comic-Con, I think this comes out like right after Comic-Con, so it won't be a big selling point. And we didn't even get a really big at D23 Expo, anything really big about it. So I almost feel like this should just appear on Disney Plus at this point.
Yeah, Disney's proven that they're committed to the theatrical business, even if they are still kind of undermining it by putting stuff on Disney Plus in a predictable amount of time after it comes to theaters. But I think it's good that it still gives people a chance, especially like this. It does look like you can tell that the budget's there. And I think when they go back to making things for Disney Plus, even though they were originally like, oh, these are, full budget, I think that that's going to be trimming down a bit as they try to go for profitability. So.
Yeah, and this one, I think the Haunted Mansion name alone will draw the crowd. You put in Rosario.
It worked the first time.
Yeah, I still am waiting for my refund on that viewing. Really, the only thing that I can remember anything about the original movie was the costume display that they had at Disney MGM Studios, where they talked about the ghost costumes had glass sewn into it, ground glass, so it would reflect, and they encouraged us to take photos of it so you could get a nice reflection off of the thing. And I was like, that's all I can remember at this point. And Jennifer Tilly saying she was going to be in the Haunted Mansion attraction as Madame Leota.
Yes, and she was.
So no, she never got. She was saying that she was going to replace the original Madame Leota.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that was one of the.
Well, that's like when The Rock was saying that he was working on redoing the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah. Well, The Rock's everywhere in the Jungle Cruise. Thank you.
Or that's all.
Now, just a minute.
I haven't been able to use that all week, so now I got to do that. Filling out our talk today. Yesterday, I published our Audie nominations presented by Laughing Place Podcast. So I'm going to go ahead and explain this because I'm sure at this point, no one has any idea what this is. Laughing Place used to have a podcast. It still is on the page. You can still listen to it, but we haven't done one in like 2 years. But they used to joke that it was called the LPP Oddcast instead of the LP Podcast. So then when they decided to start doing their own awards, they were called the Audies. And here we are in 2023.
I never knew the background of that.
Yeah, see, long-time listener, first-time caller. So this is, even though we are in 2023, these are the 2022 Audies. So everything that we're talking about came out in 2022. So I just thought we'd go through these nominations, and hopefully I don't need to rescind any nominations if you're like, technically that was a 2021 or it came too soon. Best New Attraction, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, the odds-on favorite there. Avengers Assemble, Flight Force, DuckTales, World Showcase Adventure, Star Wars, Batu Bounty Hunters, and the Disney Wish, which is questionable as an attraction, but we're going to include it just for... what would your pick here? I imagine it's between the first and the last one there. I didn't expect this to be hard.
Yeah, I'd go with the first one. It's hard to, Disney Wish. I definitely, I was talking to our CEO the other day. I watched the making of The Wish, and I need to go and give it a second chance. Um, Avengers Flight Force is just the same ride. DuckTales,
Woo.
as the person who did that, it is Agent P. The Bounty Hunters is something unique, and it finally promises on all the technology that Magic Bands have been told we're going to be there for the past 10 years. But yeah, I'd go with the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
I enjoy that comment.
Now, just a minute.
Doobie is commenting as Laughing Place to say that he'd pick the Disney Wish. To hats. Doobie.
Wait. I think we're going to have to take down the Disney Wish.
Because of what Tony said, or because
No, when was the...
It debuted
never
in
mind.
2022.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My brain is like, wait, no, that was 2023. No, that was...
While Doobie is joining us, I'm curious if you saw my CBS News clip that I showed earlier, and if not, you can check it out on random. But if you want me to play it again, I will, because it's very cool. Moving on, best live action film: Avatar: Way of Water, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, one of Marvel's best, according to Mac, and Death on the Nile. Jeremiah, what you picking there?
Ooh, definitely not Death on the Nile. That would be for our whatever our Razzies would be at this point. I'd go Black Panther. Avatar was Avatar. Thor didn't fulfill everything I wanted it to. Doctor Strange was amazing, but for some reason it just fell on a lot of deaf ears. But Black Panther, we know that it's going to win awards, and it's going to finally do what Marvel needs.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I think that's a pretty easy pick, honestly. Having not seen Avatar, not really being a fan of Avatar in general. So that was the actual best live action streaming: Disenchanted, Hocus Pocus 2, Cheaper by the Dozen, which feels like longer than 2022, but I'll believe Benji because I'm pretty sure he put that on there. Chippendale Rescue Rangers, and Better Nate Than Ever. I'm going to guess that we are both going to agree on Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Absolutely. The one that we don't have a link to.
Well, because it's a style thing. It's an auto link thing. Yeah. So best animated film: Night at the Museum. Not going to try to pronounce that.
You skipped the best live action family series. Oh no, I'm sorry. You scrolled up and I didn't see the best animated because it was covered by the...
You're fine. So Night at the Museum, Bob's Burgers movie, Strange World, Lightyear, Turning Red. For me, probably Turning Red, but I do really enjoy Bob's Burgers, the series, so that's pushing me. The movie was good and enjoyable, but I think it's hard to put it above Turning Red. What do you think?
I'm going to go for the massive underdog, even more than Lightyear, Strange World. I really enjoyed that film. I saw it twice in the theaters, but I also have loved, Treasure Planet and the more boy-centric Disney films. So that one had a lot of fun, and the family touch was great in it.
This is going to be a hard category, and I found a typo in it. Best live action family series: National Treasure, Edge of History, Santa Clauses, The Villains of Valley View, Family Reboot, or I presume it's Save Our Squad with David Beckham. I've only seen one of these, so I'm going to go with National Treasure, which I actually enjoyed, but I know that you did not.
I've seen two of those, National Treasure and the Santa Clauses, and both of those were painful to no end for me, but I just had to suck it up and get through. So I'm going to pass on that because the two that I would vote for, I can't vote for.
See, that's the thing in the audience. It's possible that no one could win. Actually, I don't know if it is, but best animated series: Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, Hamster and Gretel, Alice's Wonderland Bakery, Firebuds, or Zootopia Plus. You got a pick here?
Yeah, I'd go with Firebuds.
Okay.
I saw most of everything that's on there with the exception of the Proud Family, but Firebuds is a really fun show. I enjoyed it, and it has some great music in it. So if you're not a kid and you want to watch something that is very mind-numbing for adults, Firebuds is the way to go.
Let's go through at least a couple more here. Best Adult Series, Pam and Tommy, The Dropout, Under the Banner of Heaven, Alaska Daily, or The Bear. I've seen a little bit of The Bear, and I've seen a little bit of Alaska Daily just in the background. I think The Bear is really interesting. It's kind of stressful, like the situation. Like you have that kind of, not cringe, I'd say. Like it's not intentionally cringing, but it can be stressful, but I think it's funny and interesting. So that's going to be my pick. Do you have one?
I have not seen any of those, but I do want to know how a bear on cocaine is stressful to you.
That's a movie, and it's Universal. This is The Bear. It's nominated for awards. Kidder loves the OG Proud Family when he used to air on Disney Channel. Yeah, I've heard good things about the sequel series as well. And Broken Jeremiah, Doobie is not back from he's off his cruise, but he's sitting at the airport watching us. So that's sad.
Doobie, get online. Come on, you could do it.
The best song. We'll do this one, and then we'll move. I'll show that CBS clip again, like I promised. Best song, Un Monde qui s'illumine, from Disneyland Paris. Ready for the Ride from Disneyland Paris. Nobody Like You, from Turning Red. Come On Out, which I'm actually not sure. Is that Zombies 3 maybe?
I think so.
And Korg Song, which I don't know if it has a name, from Love and Thunder. Un Monde qui s'illumine is one of my favorite Disney parks songs from however many years. I think it's the closest I've heard for a Disney park song that you're like, it could almost be on the radio. Like it's just right there of being like a regular pop song. But I think the lyrics to it are perfect for the time that it was launching. And because it kind of speaks to like what we'd all just gone through without directly addressing it. And I think it's a really good song. But anyway, do you know these songs enough to make a selection?
No, I will have to go listen to the first two, definitely.
You be like to it. Did he just pull Jeremiah?
It's like, wow, I didn't mean the second.
I didn't take you out.
It wasn't me. It
was Doobie. Lurking in the background and taking Jeremiah out. So yeah.
No, I don't think I have enough qualifications to vote for.
That's fair. Before we move on to that thing that I wanted to show everyone, I do just want to highlight the most missed. Kite Tails was the only thing we could think of, so I have a feeling it's going to win. It's going to crash its way into the oddies.
I guess we couldn't have done Epcot Forever. Could we?
It's coming back, so no.
Well, it's not
miss it much if it's already been announced. So we are going to show this. I don't know if I should wait for him to try to come back or if I should just go ahead and.
That's the Korg song.
Yes, that's what it's called. Should I change the official nomination name? Let me do some pocket picks while I wait to see if Doobie is going to join us to watch the video or whether he wants me to show it. I will watch the comments, but let's go ahead and do a couple of short. First up, we talked about the song earlier, so now we can watch this clip that I found on the Disney Parks TikTok. That I need to share my screen again.
As long as it doesn't demonetize us.
We'll see.
I, for one, think what comes next will be wondrous.
It's also loud. So yeah, that's kind of cool. You can go check that out on the Disney Parks TikTok. Just this looks like it's probably at like Abbey Road because they do a lot of scores and stuff there. So yeah, and then next we have a viewer submitted one from Mac because I specifically asked him to send me pocket pics as he did yesterday, and he sent me what is the same meme in a different attraction. So let's watch this one together. Yes. Doobie, you ready to come on? All right. Hi, Doobie.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay? Because I don't want to be loud.
Yeah, you're fine. I wanted to show you this video. As you probably saw, I don't know how much you were paying attention, but you saw that Mike Celestino ended up being in snow at Disneyland.
Mike needs a haircut.
Yes. Well, that video that he did got picked up by a few different real media things, including this clip that I found on CBS.
We're on KCAL.
Yes, let me unmute it as soon as I figure out how to.
On Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, we might even read your comment live on the air. And we are kicking things off with this incredible video from the happiest place on earth. You can see it behind me. We're going to pull it up full for you. Twitter user Laughing Plays shared videos walking into Disneyland when this mix of snow and hail just started coming down out of nowhere. Well, we knew it was going to come down because Paul was telling us about it. But look at that there. It's beautiful. When they were walking through downtown Disney and then made it into the park just before it started to rain, this is what happened. They said this is the first time they've spotted something close to real snow in the park. It just looks incredible. A lot of people probably surprised, not thinking they were going to get the snowfall there, but it is absolutely magical. And it's the happiest place on earth, so of course it would happen there.
I completely missed the blue sky in the distance down Main Street as he's walking in.
That was so awesome. That was so awesome.
Yes, and as they didn't use his face, but you can hear him in the background of that video. And then we also mentioned that we saw his tweet embedded on USA Today. So.
And he was also, I know he was on, you know, Nikki B. She's often here. She's an editor of the station, and her station used our video as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Glad we gave that authorization. We had several emails and DMs and stuff about it when it happened. So
what I learned is I need to pay more attention to the bad flooding in the parks, because those videos always do well, and start tweeting out more of that. Got it.
Yes.
Whenever it floods, I think if locusts ever invade the park, or frogs or anything like that, yes. Get out the camera.
Do you have a minute to kind of give us your initial thoughts on the ship, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually, my flight is only 6 hours away, so I'm trying to get close. But I've got time. So I went on this. I just got off the Disney Wish, a 4-day cruise on the Disney Wish, the newest cruise ship, and I won't say anticipated. Based on what I heard on the ship, it did not have high hopes. It's not going to be my favorite ship by a long shot. I still assumed I'd have a good time as a Disney cruise, but the changes that they made from the classic 4 to this one, I expected to kind of be a turn off for me. And I would love it, but it would just be my least favorite Disney show. What's wrong? I was wrong. The Disney Wish is different. And my first couple of days, I'm like, yeah, I was right. But then one morning I got up and went exploring. And adventure is one of the themes of the Disney Wish. And I can see why. This is a ship that really rewards exploration. After that morning, exploring parts of the ship that I hadn't seen before, discovering places that a lot of people don't discover, some of the quieter, hidden places, and seeing all the different spaces that they've created to have your cruise experience. The Disney Wish, I'm pretty sure, is right now my favorite Disney ship.
Wow.
The stuff I didn't like is there. I still wish it had a running track all the way around. But, you know, I'm quite the run Disney guy. And no, I'm not, but I do like to walk. But, you know, that wasn't as bad as I thought. It does go 3/4 of the way with stairs, granted. And then you can just cut across inside and get back to the other side. So even that wasn't as bad as I thought. But the Frozen restaurant was pretty darn cool. The Marvel restaurant I expected to hate, and instead it was only mildly annoying. So, yeah, once I got my bearings, and you know, one of the things they did that I expected to hate turned out I loved. They got rid of the adult district, and they decided to just put all the action in the center of the ship. And I liked having a separate adult district, and I really thought that would be a problem. But actually, wasn't. Having everything in the center of the ship really keeps the ship alive well into the night. It used to be, you know, 11:30, 12 o'clock. Most of the ship was pretty deserted. But I think for that reason, even 12:30, the ship was still hopping. There were still people around, and I like that. I like people. I like a ship that's alive, because you can always go places to be quiet, but it's nice to have a place to go and still have something. So I think that was actually turned out to be a really good decision. It's beautiful, which everyone agrees with. Yeah, Rebecca's still in Florida. She's going to be back in a few days. So I suspect next weekend or the week after, we're going to go way in depth, 1 or 2 episodes, probably just dedicated to talking about our experience in the image. Really looking forward to it. I'm ready to change the narrative on the Wish in the Disney community.
So, Doobie, how were the shows? That's one of the things that, when I went on, I only saw a little bit, and then everybody post has complained about it. I have to say I enjoyed the Little Mermaid show, the early preview of it, but I didn't get to see the full show.
So we had Seize the Adventure, which just a simple welcome to the ship show. I liked it. Nothing special, but it was fun. What's nice about it, it's relatively short. That's not a show that needs to drag forever. They didn't. The Little Mermaid, we got to see the full production. The second showing of the night actually had major technical issues. So I'm happy we saw the first production, which did not. I expected to be very lukewarm on this show based on stuff I'd read, but nope, I liked it a lot. Found it was right up until the end, really stuck to the story of the Little Mermaid, and then it had to get into stuff. But for the most part, it was just the Little Mermaid, and it was really good. I liked it a lot. And then Aladdin just was like, it brought back such memories. It was like a nostalgia trip for me. It's like I'm watching Aladdin again after all these years. And then my son, that was the one thing he really wanted to see because he's seen Aladdin on video but never got to see it in person. And the biggest joy of the trip for me is watching him watch Aladdin. He was cracking up so much. And then he walks out of there, and the first thing he says, "That was an S-tier show." So, yeah, the shows were all good.
Did they have the elephant?
They do not have an elephant. It is definitely a toned-down show. No elephant, no flying carpet. Well, yes, flying carpet. It does not actually fly above you, but obviously you have to make sure. The theater is great with the special effect, because there's only so much you can do in reality on the show. So they make up for it in special effects and projections and stuff, and it totally worked for me. Oh my goodness! Even the seats weren't that uncomfortable. When I'd heard how uncomfortable those seats were, maybe that's more about me than. I mean, yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
Did the genie use a bunch of your banned phrases?
I feel like he used one, but not too much. And my son was just as my son Gideon found Iago just as funny as the genie, which I thought was pretty cool. It is Iago, right? That's Ezra. Yeah. Iago.
I made a reference to Aladdin yesterday or Wednesday, and Jeremiah didn't get it, so I was sad. He was talking about salt and pepper shakers, and so I said I haven't seen him since Aladdin, and just moved past.
It's so funny, not having seen this show since what? I'm sure I hadn't seen it since I left, so 2013. Whenever it closed, that would have been when I last saw it. So all those old jokes weren't there. I can't think of any classic genie jokes that were there that I'm used to. But obviously, there's a ton of new jokes, including like high-tech jokes. When he's joking about technology that didn't exist when I last saw the show, that just hits. That hits, as they say, or hits weird.
It's different.
It's different. Thank you. This is why I don't use these phrases. That hits different. That was really funny. He had some great. Obviously, he always has some great, and obviously a lot of ship references. My favorite at the end when he finally gets freed, he's like, "What are you gonna do now? I'm going to Disney World, and I'm getting Genie Plus. They use my name."
Yeah. Okay. So I was wondering because on the fantasy they have Aladdin, and I felt like it. I don't think it's so much the way it was in DCA where the genie has like his own, like he can do whatever he wants. I kind of felt like these were more scripted, and that alone shows that it was a scripted line.
Yeah, obviously I don't know until I see it 500 times like the other one how much of it was scripted.
Yeah.
The crowd for Mermaid was very enthusiastic at the end. It wasn't packed, but they were extremely enthusiastic at the end. The crowd for Aladdin was packed. People came to see Aladdin. And again, the reception was extremely enthusiastic. So the people loved it. Little Mermaid got a bit of a standing ovation. I can't say that about Aladdin. People loved it too, not just me. People loved it. The whole ship is beautiful. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to spend like 3-4 hours talking about it. This is my favorite thing in the world. I love it.
I'm sure you will. Would you like to get educated with us, or?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. First up, on this day in 1845, Florida became the 27th state in the United States. So happy birthday to Florida.
I'm going to go celebrate today.
You're going to go celebrate? Awesome.
I'm here right now, so I'm wishing the state happy birthday. Thank you for existing. You have warmth, unlike where I left.
Yeah. Next up, on this day in 1934, Disney released Playful Pluto, which I will play on a little bit of on silent. I'll just skip ahead here. Have you guys familiar with this short?
I know I've watched all the Mickey shorts when the old 10 collection came out, but I don't remember this one for the life of me.
Well, I'm sure I forgot to check to see if it was on Disney Plus. I made a classic doobie mistake. Let me check that.
Gotta be hard to do.
It's gotta be real hard to do. I gotta like open Disney Plus and talk and then act like I'm not looking at a different screen than what you guys are looking at.
Doobie Kyle has been doing an amazing job while you've been gone.
So I tuned in today. This is really all I've seen while I'm gone. I'm like, the wrong person is hosting the show when I do it with Kyle.
I don't see Playful Pluto on here, but it could be buried somewhere. But moving on, 1937. On this day in 1937, Bobby Driscoll was born, known for being the voice of Peter Pan and several other Disney roles. Fortunately, passed away a while ago, but 1937, long time.
Peter
ago.
Pan, Kyle. Peter Pan, that's your favorite attraction, right, Kyle?
Yeah, Peter Pan's flight in Disneyland is.
See, I actually meant it this time.
On
Not
this
the one
day,
in Disneyland Paris?
no, that one's okay. I think Disneyland holds a special place in my heart. This day in 1967, a movie that I assume only the Mosleys are familiar with, The Adventures of Bullwhip Griffin, was released.
I want to say this is on Disney Plus.
It might be.
I watched it during the pandemic at one point.
Is this one of your favorites, Doobie? I should just definitively say it's one of your favorites.
Yeah, no, I don't like period pieces. I've not seen The Adventures of Bullwhip Griffin. I guarantee you, my wife's family has seen it a million times. They can give you quotes from it.
Well, if other people want to watch it, it is available to stream on Disney Plus. It's an hour and 50 minutes long. Can you believe?
Fun fact. Rewind just a bit, like 10 seconds.
Okay.
So that's more than 10 seconds. No, right there. So in a second here, that quote, that was Mac.
Wacky.
On this day in 1970, Julie Bowen was born. She's Claire Dunphy on Modern Family. She's also been on Boston Legal, which is owned by Disney now, because I'm pretty sure it was 20th Century produced. So happy birthday to Julie.
Are they making a comic book adaptation of that too?
I mean, they could be under that new label that I don't know if Doobie was around for. Marvel is doing comic books with the 20th Century Studios label.
You forgot she was Lil Dipper in Planes, Fire, and Rescue.
Oh, I did miss that one. Thank you for correcting me. This day, 1983. This was not the official opening of Journey into Imagination, but it did soft open according to thisdayindisneyhistory.com. So we'll count it. The most overrated attraction, right?
No.
Most overrated attraction in the history of Disney. No, absolutely.
A few days ago, we shared that day in Disney history is when George Lucas was at the parks with Michael Eisner presenting the Indiana Jones adventure. But today is the actual anniversary of the Indiana Jones adventure at Disneyland on this day in 1995.
Jeremiah.
Good video.
Yeah,
yes, I was there.
Didn't quite look like this. But
Jeremiah Good, is this the single greatest attraction in the history of cinema?
Yes. This broke all sorts of boundaries. I will tell you that I was there on that day. I have my Indiana Jones 40 Years Adventure card. I used to, for the year and a half leading up to it, would go up to the gallery and look down at the construction. To me, this is the perfect mix of everything. I know that there have been attractions that I say are the best, but Indiana Jones is still the pinnacle of Disney Imagineering.
Tokyo version or Disneyland version?
I still like the Disneyland version the most. The Tokyo version I only did twice. Kind of like you with Peter Pan's Flight, holds a special place in my heart.
The smoke ring is pretty cool in Tokyo, but
yeah.
On that exact same day, as if that wasn't big enough news, Disney released a little movie called Man of the House, starring Chevy Chase
Very
and Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
We're going sarcasm here, but you were not.
Don't remember anything about this movie, and this would have been the time where I would go see any Disney movie that came out.
So when the person uses an freeware unlicensed version of the software to get their recording of something that doesn't belong to them anyway, and we use it, do we still need to credit their YouTube?
I don't think so.
Also, but we do need to register with the Florida governor and everything now.
It is available on Disney Plus. I feel like if you look at this image, it looks more like it, but it also looks a lot like Jungle to Jungle.
Yeah,
there's definitely a look to this genre of film here.
I have two things for you, Kyle, before you continue, because I'll forget.
Thanks.
From the cruise. One, we were playing a kind of a name that sound thing, and one of them was the theme song from Community. I didn't know it, but I thought of you.
Thank you.
And two, during one of the trivias, the guy was telling a bunch of really bad dad Disney jokes. And at the end, he told a bad one, and he's like, uh-oh, Bob Iger's going to make me 7,001. About 4 people in there got it, but we got it fine. So
I got it. On this day in 2005, Disneyland had a special event. Can you guess what it was celebrating, Jeremiah?
2005 would have been the kickoff of the 50th time, but it was not the 50th because that's around 050505.
Right. They were celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the Indiana Jones Adventure opening.
Oh, I was at that event. And note to any Indiana Jones fans, if you happen to have the obelisk that they sold at that event, that is one of my holy grail items. So just send that over to Jeremiah. Speaking of, if you can take me
No, we're not going to let that pass. Jeremiah on here begging for stuff. Oh, I'm telling a joke. But if you happen to send it to me, I'm okay with that too.
Oh, no, I was begging for stuff. Take me off for 1 second, Kyle.
Okay. On this day in 2012, Mac saw Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark on Broadway and lived to tell the tale. So that's something.
Okay. I didn't know what that. I was wondering you put that in the chat. What Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark was.
Yeah, it was a Broadway show produced by Julie Taymor, who did Lion King on Broadway. Also did Across the Universe, the movie, the Beatles movie. Jeremiah is still going for his thing. So I'll move on to what I think is very poetic.
We are saving you guys from seeing Jeremiah right now. Mac,
Yes.
I do want to know, was Turn Off the Dark better or worse than Spider-Man Rise?
It's always nice when for this day in Disney history when I can actually find the relevant Laughing Place article. I don't know why it's not loading at the moment, but on this day in 2016, Disney announced that they were adding 2 new cruise ships to their fleet, one of which eventually became the Disney Wish that Judy was just on. How's that?
Did I mention that the Disney Wish is now the best ship in the Disney fleet?
You did.
The best part of this story is this story is already out of date. They decided to make it 3 cruise ships.
They did. So yes, this eventually went on to be the Wish was one of them. The Treasure will be another one. We don't know the name of the third. And then they ended up buying a completely different ship, but that doesn't count. So yeah, I just thought that was pretty funny that this announcement came out on the day that you got off your ship. And Jeremiah's back.
Under the terms of Jeremiah begging for things, I was not begging for this. As Doobie heard and saw on my Facebook, I recently purchased a large lot of books, of Disney books, because I'm a collector. And I made this long-winded post about how the only book I've really wanted for the longest time was the Disney and Nickel Tour. And one of our viewers, Charlotte, was nice enough to contact me via Facebook, and she said, please take this. Don't have any space for it. You will appreciate it. So I would like to thank her. I've not had the chance to do that. This book is something I've been waiting for many years to find, and she was generous enough to donate it to my library.
I'd also like to thank Charlotte, because based on Jeremiah's begging, I was considering giving him ours, and now I can.
Nice.
Which none of it was begging at all. It was just a pure statement at that point. If I was begging, you know, it's the obelisk. It's the 10th anniversary from the Indiana Jones adventure. It's when you're in the queue as you walk around.
I think I might have another piece of breaking news. Just a moment.
You find it.
I'm going to mute Doobie for a second.
Yeah.
As you know, the red zone is for unloading. New pictures have come in from Toontown, which was supposed to be reopening in just a few days, but had been pushed to a few more than that. But Imagineering has just shared some photos of the work that they're doing there. So we have, that is the Mickey statue in Centennial Park, with Minnie in a having the time of their life moment.
Why is she holding?
Doobie just got it. I like wheels turn. So yeah, that looks like they just added that to the top of. Oh yeah. Oh boy, we installed the Mickey and Minnie figures atop the new fountain at Centennial Park this morning. Another exciting milestone. So there you go. It's on its way. That'll open March 19th, I believe, or whatever the Sunday is.
Yes, March 19th. So somebody tell Mike he needs to go take the train, fly over, just to get a picture of this awkward statue.
I'm sure he'll probably make it over there, but we will be live with him later today at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern for a look around DCA's Food and Wine Festival. The other thing I want to mention as we kind of circle back as we wait for the top of the hour here is, I don't know if you're watching earlier, Doobie, but I was sharing an article that Luke wrote picking up on something that Disney Plus tweeted about and figured that maybe they were teasing something about a Miley Cyrus collaboration. And sure enough, as I'm going through that story, they did indeed announce that
literally as he's talking about it.
Miley Cyrus Endless Summer Vacation, the Backyard Sessions, will be streaming on Disney Plus at a specific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, March 10th. She'll be performing her massive hit song Flowers, along with 7 others, with an appearance by the one and only Rufus Wainwright. So there you go. Miley's coming back to town. What's up, dude?
Good question. So Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, Disney child. At some point, she clearly was no longer a Disney child. Is she coming back, or is Disney Plus going over, or have they met in the middle somewhere?
She's coming back. She had her bangers era. Now she's kind of back to doing somewhere in the middle. She doesn't have to. She's just being Miley, as they said, as she once sang.
Just being Miley is not a good thing. I'm pretty sure if we look that up in the dictionary, there's quite a few just being Miley moments that we should not. I would guess it is more of Disney Plus going, hey, Miley, Flowers, it is the biggest thing. We can do this.
It makes sense. I mean, I don't think of necessarily Billie Eilish being a Disney Plus person either, and they did that a Hollywood Bowl special. They censored out all the profanity, and Taylor Swift. They've had some pretty big pop stars that they've done these specials with. So I don't think it's
okay. All right. So this is just a Disney Plus pop star thing. That's what they do.
Yeah. That's my take on it.
It's a good idea. It's a great way to get the non-Star Wars Marvel fans to come over there.
Who played her brother? Jason Earl. Is that her brother in Hannah Montana?
I think so.
They should go get him from Shady Pine. Bring him back to talk about things. That's an old LPP Adi reference. At least Kyle gets to get. There's no one else.
Yes. I had to explain the Audis to everyone today. That's my.
I never knew the whole backstory of the Audis. Like,
I heard that. That cracked me up because I forgot the backstory of the Audis.
Trying to see if there's any news as we reach the 10 o'clock hour here. Not seeing anything quite yet. Let me check in on It's Wondrous to see if it's been added to more streaming services like it was supposed to be.
Is
That's
it
going to be
still
our
only on YouTube?
No, it's off. It's not even on YouTube
only on
anymore.
Apple
It's
Music
on.
right now.
Oh, breaking news.
Wait, don't say it yet. Don't say it.
Okay. It has finally made it to the other streaming services. This morning, when we started the show, it was only available on Apple Music and for download on the iTunes Store. It says here that it's on Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, and all the rest. Let me confirm that as it loads my Spotify.
Professor
yes,
and Marianne too?
What
is
is
there. So there's the regular version and then the Lawrence version, which is the exit music. So now you can officially find both of those on your favorite streaming device.
what is Deezer?
Wow. Don't lead me towards those types of jokes, Jeremiah. I don't know. Mac, if he's watching, knows exactly what I'm thinking. But we're just going to move on from that. Doobie, do you have anything else to leave the people with before we close this out? Assuming that I haven't seen any other news.
I just want to give a sincere thank you to both Kyle Burbank and Luke Manning for filling in while I was gone, and Woody the Cowboy for coming in today to finish out the week.
Yes, definitely appreciate them. I could not do this by myself. I already had enough time learning all sorts of. I've learned some game-changing StreamYard things over the past.
I can't wait to learn about.
You
that.
probably already know them. I just realized that I don't need to like take down a link and then replace it. I can just copy the link over the tab that I'm sharing, and it'll just keep sharing it.
Nope, he
But
did
show the
not
new
know
one.
that.
Yes, I knew that. So
That
that I knew.
That looked
And today
weird.
I learned the Shift S to just instead of going through the whole present tab thing. It's amazing.
Shift S, what does that do?
Shift S, it brings up the interface to just share a tab directly instead of having to go through all the clicks I need to do on the interface.
That I did not know.
Where will you be eating a late lunch in the MCO airport?
I think I'm going to go up to Marceline Market, or maybe I'll head over. Oh no,
No.
I won't be.
Oh, wasn't the Mexican food so good? Did you?
There twice. I got tacos and burritos there.
Yeah.
2 different trips there.
That one was the game changer for me.
Yeah, that's when you know that. Really, I mean, you know you're off the ship, obviously, but when your stomach starts saying, "I need to eat," and you both have to pull out the wallet and like go find someplace, the cruise is officially over.
And so is this week of LP Disney Morning News shows. We'll be back later today at 1:00 Pacific, walking and talking with Mike Celestino from the DCA Food and Wine Festival. If there's any big breaking news, I'll be back with somebody to talk about it. And then Doobie and I will be back on Monday morning, correct?
Hope so.
Hope so. So I hope everyone has a great week. Doobie, enjoy your time at the airport.
In the words of Aladdin, that's the plan.
Oh, yes. Get home safe, dude. See y'all later.
Have a safe trip.